guys, this is Alea and today I'm bringing you again to Casa Bahia in Anilao, Batangas. It was another day trip, so we went there as early as 6 a.m. and we arrived I think around 8 o'clock. Now before going, I had to message my friends who went diving the day before just to check how the waves were because my brothers and I were going, and it really seemed like Poseidon was on something because the waves were pretty strong. Of course, not similar to the surfing waves of Balear or La Union, but yeah, for scuba divers, it was pretty intense. Now, this dive, my brother actually, Kuya Deo, brought a new underwater camera with him and he decided to just, I don't know, try out his luck with underwater photography. Which means I get to play with a GoPro, and play with it I did. I took a lot of selfie shots, so fair warning to everyone out there. But yeah, we went as deep as 22 meters at the wreck site in Darilaot. We have been here countless times before, and it never ceases to amaze me how beautiful it is underwater. So I really had a lot of fun just having the camera with me and taking shots of the fish and the interesting corals around the area. In the beginning of the video, you saw how strong the waves were that day, and that's primarily the reason why we went again to this wreck site, to Darilaot, because it's somewhat protected from the waves. I don't know how to explain it, but this site is situated in between two islands, and I guess that prevents strong waves from coming in, which means the boats are safe. Speaking of boats, I have another story about that later, but for now, let's enjoy the beautiful scenery underwater. I really wanted to take a selfie with the schools of fish behind me, but it wasn't happening. So I find it really cool that one guy consoled me. Look at this cute fella. Oh, and that's my Kuya Deo focusing on the nudie branch. It's a macro camera built for underwater. I think this is the Olympus Tough. Anyway, so look at him, very focused, very still, to get the perfect shot of his subject. I actually had my first brush with underwater photography as well, like a legit camera, because my brother asked me to take shots, and bam, bam. One more, bam. These are my shots of the nudie branch. They're actually a group of soft bodied marine gastropod mollusks. That's quite a mouthful. But anyway, in this part, I really did my best to do some color grading. I'm not so great at it, but I think this one is well, the corals and the fish are okay, but everything else was just green. It's funny, but I really did my best, and I hope I get better at color grading. After 4 minutes of just going around the wreck site and taking photos, it was now time for a service interval, and lo and behold, I saw this cute puppy who was atop this floater, and he was waiting or hanging out with his human free divers, and off I went again underwater. I didn't get to hold the mask this time. It was strange. I was holding the back of my neck, but when you actually do a back roll, you should stretch out your hand. Your pointer finger and your middle finger should be resting on the eye area of your mask, while your palm should be resting on your regulator. That way, you'll be sure that it won't fly anywhere when you jump underwater. So going back, I found another nudie branch, and of course my kuya also took shots of it. This is mine using the GoPro, and bam! Look at that. Look at how pretty it is using the macro camera. It's just so pretty. I think my eyes says it all. This little bugger actually swam past me, and I was shocked. I thought it was a lobster, but when I looked again, it was actually a sea mantis, and it's very skittish. Look at it. It just immediately swam away when he saw me getting closer. But here's a shot of him from another angle. And yes, there's nothing wrong with getting close or coming in a little bit closer for a shot. So long as you don't touch marine animals, you're fine. Don't worry about it. So this might just be my most disorganized dive ever. Each and every one of us were just doing our own thing. Here I am pretending to be a sea videographer. I don't know what you call it. But yeah, as you can see, this photo just clearly depicts chaos. Everyone was just going their own way. And yeah, I was just capturing moments for all of us to see afterwards. This is Kuya Deo. He's prepping his gear, his camera, because I don't know, it was just crazy. His tank was full of air when we got up because, of course, he wasn't moving as much and he was just focused on taking photos of the tiny creatures underwater. And here's a shot of Kuya Ryan being supportive of Kuya Deo. Actually, we were just circling around him the entire time, just going around the reef and going back to the wreck just so that, he has enough time to do his thing. And I think maybe that's one of the reasons why this dive was really fun is because we were just allowed to do our own thing. Like there was no planned route or whatever. We just went around playing in the wreck site, and that's what I did. So yeah, I actually discovered a few animals on my own, like this one. This is, I don't know if it's flotsam or jetsam, but either one of Ursula's pets. I'm kidding. This is actually a moray eel, and they might seem scary in real life and in the cartoons, but they're actually pretty harmless. They won't attack you, just leave them alone. In this part of the video, I was just going around the wreck site again. You know what? For some reason, time flies when you're diving. I don't know. We were under there for over, I don't know, maybe an hour or so, but definitely over 45 minutes. But I never really felt it. I was just enjoying the vibe so much underwater, and I don't know, I was just in my element. Oh gosh, I forgot to tell you the story about the boat. Remember, I mentioned that earlier in this video. So, what happened was when we went back, this was the second dive. We were supposed to go on a third dive after lunch. But when we got back to the resort, the boat that we were in wasn't able to dock because the waves were just so strong and it was pushing it against the rocks. And you can't really do that because the bottom of the boat might get torn or whatever. So yeah, we kind of like had to abandon ship, and it was funny, but I was the first one to jump in. We jumped from the boat and swam to the beach, and it wasn't near, mind you. It was I think maybe 150 meters away. But it was an experience. It was memorable for me, and I don't have an issue swimming anyway, but the waves were really strong, so we had to hold on to the lubid or to the rope that was tying the boat to the shore. And yeah, that's my dive story for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe next time I have my own camera, so that with a selfie stick, of course, so that you can see more of the scenery more than just my face. I didn't know that the camera was set to this, I don't know, like closed shot. Anyway, look at that. So many schools of fish just swimming around me, and it was just absolutely stunning there. So happy to be diving, and I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Thanks so much for hanging out with me and for watching this video, and I hope I see you again soon. Bye!